A Supreme Court Judge, Justice Paul Bafo-Boni, has assumed office as the acting Chief Justice of Ghana. This comes in the wake of the suspension of the Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornoo. This is in line with Ghana's constitution, which provides that the senior-most Supreme Court judge takes over if the substantive Chief Justice is for any reason unable to perform functions of the office. Let's bring you that provision now. Where the office of the Chief Justice is vacant or where the Chief Justice is for any reason unable to perform the functions of his office until a person has been appointed to and has assumed the functions of that office, or until the person holding that office has resumed the functions of that office, as the case may be, those functions shall be performed by the most senior of the justices of the Supreme Court, that according to Article 1446 of the 1992 Constitution.
Also that following the decision of the President after the consultation with Council of State to suspend Madam Gertrude Torkornoo, an acting Chief Justice has been appointed. That's the person of Justice Bafo-Boni. So who exactly is Justice Bafo-Boni? Let's try and find out a bit of background of who Justice Bafo-Boni is. And while we try to dig up that information for you, we'd also be happy to hear from you on what you make of the many stories that we have for you this evening regarding the fact that many people have been sharing their thoughts and comments following the decision of the President in consultation with the Council of State to suspend the current Chief Justice. And so we'll bring you the specific profile of Justice Bafo-Boni in a moment.
Earlier, President John Mahama suspended the Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Saki Torkornoo following 3 petitions to remove her. This decision came after consultation with the Council of State, which determined that a prima facie case had been established against her. The suspension takes effect immediately pending the outcome of the committee's proceedings as per Article 1466 of the Constitution. A fortnight ago, the Chief Justice was given 10 days to respond to the petitions, which she did on April 7. However, despite her response, the President affirmed that a prima facie case existed against her. The suspension will remain in effect until the committee completes its investigations. Meanwhile, the President has appointed a 5-member committee in compliance with Article 1466 of the Constitution and in consultation with the Council of State. They are Justice Gabriel Pwaman, he is a Justice of the Supreme Court; Justice Kwame Adibuesiedu, he is also a Justice of the Supreme Court; Mr. Daniel Yao Domelevo, a former Auditor General; Major Flora Dalugo of the Ghana Armed Forces; and Professor James Sefa Jisa, he is an Associate Professor of the University of Ghana.
Justice Paul Bafo-Boni. A brief profile of who he is. Now, we do know that he was born in 1956, December 26. He has had a distinguished serving career in various capacities across Ghana's judicial system, culminating in his appointment to the highest court of the land, where he served 17 years ago was when he was appointed. He previously served as a justice of the Court of Appeal and High Court and the Circuit Court. And before joining the bench in '92, he worked as a Principal Inspector of Taxes and Head of Legal, Eastern and Volta regions at the IRS. And before then, he was Deputy Superintendent of Prisons and Head of Legal at the Prison Service. Now, he has also got quite a distinguished educational career and has contributed in different capacities to Ghana's laws and international law publications. So from where he stands, many believe he's got the wherewithal to act as Chief Justice of the Republic. Take you down memory lane and find out what exactly the situation has been, especially since '91, when issues of petitions have been raised against Chief Justices. So between '91 and '95, key individual who was in the chair as Chief Justice was Philip Edward Archer. No record specifically about whether or not a petition was filed against him was found. Then Isaac Kobina Aban was also in office between 1995 and 2001. Again, we did not have on record whether a petition was raised or filed against him. Now, come 2001 to 2003, the Chief Justice then was Edward Kwame Redu. There was a petition, and the person who petitioned was Francis Janku Asase Kofi. And the basis for his petition was that he believed that the then Chief Justice was lying under oath about the date of birth. He also said that the Chief Justice then deceived Parliament during his vetting to extend his tenure, and that he had committed perjury by providing false information to a public officer. So the conclusion after that petition was that his petition failed, and the Chief Justice was allowed to stay in office and later retired voluntarily. After Edward Kwame Redu, the next Chief Justice that we had in office was George Kingsley Akwa. He was in office between 2003 and 2007. The petitioner was Bright Oblite Akwete, and on the grounds that he believed that the Chief Justice had judicial interference, where he alleged to have instructed judges on how to rule on specific cases. He also accused him of abuse of office, misusing his authority in judicial matters, and victimizing judges. So he petitioned the then president, and the petition was again thrown out after investigations. Nothing was found, so the petition failed. After George Kingsley Akwa, we had the longest serving Chief Justice in Ghana in the person of Madam Georgina Theodora Wood. She had 2 petitions against her, that is, citizens of La Home and abroad, and the basis for their petition was that there was an unfair handling of a land case that was related to the Gadangme people. And then also another person who petitioned against Madam Georgina Wood was Ernest Obri-Lati, and his grounds was that there was stated misbehavior and incompetence on the part of Madam Georgina Wood. So after the petitions were scrutinized and investigations carried out, they failed. So that did not stand. Then comes Madam Sufa Ekufu. Mensa Thompson was the individual who petitioned the president. That was Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That petition also failed. And Justice Kwesi Enyinyi-Yeboah, who took over, was also asked. Well, there was an allegation of some $5 million bribery scandal leveled against him by Mensa Thompson of ASEPA. The petition again failed. So after that, we had the current Chief Justice, who was Madam Gertrude Araba Isaba Tokonu. Now, she is the first Chief Justice to have had 4 different petitions brought against her. The first one was by Professor Stephen Kweku Asare, popularly known as Kweku Aza on social media, and the conclusion on the petition was that the President and Council of State determined no prima facie against her, and it was on the back of this that a set of 3 different ones were brought before the current President, John Mahama, and after investigations, they found some prima facie case, and on the back of that, she has been asked to step aside or suspended whilst investigations are ongoing.